Hello everyone, my name's Richard Watson and this is Anglais the Easy Way, of course. So today, a little bit different. Today I'd like to talk about 3 films. Now, these 3 films may seem very different to you, but I'm going to argue that they're almost the same film. So what are these films? Well, there's Avatar, which you've probably seen. Then there's Dances with Wolves by Kevin Costner. And then The Last Samurai with Tom Cruise. Now, when I saw Avatar with my kids, my first thought was that it's a Western. And people didn't really understand what I meant because it's science fiction and high tech with aliens, but it's actually a Western story that we've seen many times in Westerns. And one of the best examples of that is the film Dances with Wolves. So in Dances with Wolves, Kevin Costner, who was a lieutenant in the Civil War and a soldier, ends up being adopted into an Indian tribe. And we get to see the interest and the value and the wisdom and the humanity of that Indian tribe. And then that tribe has a conflict with the civilized Americans, the cowboys, you could say. And Kevin Costner is torn. His allegiance is torn between those two extremes. Now, if you've seen the film Avatar, you'll realize it's the same story. So in Avatar, Jake Sully, who's a Marine, goes to a planet to help exploit it for the mining. But he starts to identify with the local natives and ends up fighting with them against his old civilization. And what about The Last Samurai? Well, Captain Algren, his name was, Tom Cruise, who's a disillusioned American soldier, goes to Japan, after a battle, kind of gets adopted by a samurai clan, learns to be a samurai, dresses like a samurai, fights like a samurai, and fights for them against the modern imperialist army. So in many ways, it's the same story. So what are the elements of the story? Well, you have the personal transformation and redemption, right? The person is transformed because they find something greater and better than the system they were brought up in. You have this idea of respect for nature and indigenous wisdom. That's very much something that we like nowadays. It's a critique of colonialism and expansionism and exploitation. And we have the trope of the noble savage, that the savages, in each case, have some kind of wisdom and nobility that the more developed culture doesn't have. What are the more detailed ideas? Well, this idea of interconnectedness and holistic thinking, this idea that things have a connection, that you cannot atomize them and you cannot break them up and exploit them, that things are linked and there's a connection. There's an idea of a deep respect for nature, a different way of thinking about the world around us, which shouldn't be exploited. We talk about the importance of community and relationships, especially traditional ones. And we talk about living in the present and mindfulness. You can see that in all of these films. And we have the value of tradition and ritual. Now, you could say it's a bit naive. You could say that Indian tribes were massively cruel and tortured each other and had slavery. That's true, but still, there's this fondness for traditional values and traditional society. That's quite relevant, I think, today. What else do we have? Well, we have the idea of the power of inner strength and courage to overcome your prejudices. The idea of humility and being open to learning from other cultures and other people. And the importance of balance, that our modern society is out of balance. Again, you've probably seen all these films, but go back and look at them. They're all great. They're all a bit fictionalized, even the traditional societies in all of these films. A lot of the worst parts are kind of glossed over. But that's to illustrate a point, and we're allowed to do that in films. All of them are in English. You can learn a lot of English from them. Go back and enjoy them. And I'll catch you next time. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to subscribe.